Now? Oh, yeah, there we go. Yay. Good morning. My name is Mary Underwood, and I serve on the Board of Trustees of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spartanburg and as our annual fund campaign chair. Welcome to this sacred space. We are glad you're here. At UUCS, we strive to be a beloved community of warmth, love, and support across all our differences. This is a welcoming congregation with, lost my place. This is a welcoming congregation where everyone is welcome just as we each are. If you are visiting us this morning, please feel free to fill out one of the visitor forms that may be found in the pocket on the back of the chair in front of you. Please feel welcome to fill it out and place it in the offering plate during the service so we can connect with you. There is always a lot going on in the life of this congregation. Find the new February Connects in the lobby, look through the one-page weekly calendar in your order of service, and always check your weekly happenings. This evening, Sunday, February 15th, from 6 to 7 in the sanctuary, join in singing for solidarity with members of our congregation and community. Singing for solidarity is a gathering rooted in simple truth. We are not alone, and hope is real. We lift our voices for the people of Minneapolis and all those around the world who are caring for one another, standing up for justice, and co-creating a world where mutual thriving is possible. We gather to sing because song reminds us that we are stronger together. Singing also helps us breathe, recover, and restore after long seasons of fear, tension, or overwhelm, offering renewal, connection, and space for joy, even in times of sorrow. Join us and share the word. Friends, what's more fun than reading the UUC bylaws by yourself? Ha ha. I don't know, that's a hard one. Clearly playing bingo with your friends with snacks and prizes while you learn about the leadership and policies at UUCS. Join us next Saturday, February 21st from 1 to 3 in the fellowship hall for fun, fellowship, and some sneaky learning about UUCS while we play bingo. Childcare is provided up to the 5th grade. I am going to invite Ann up in a minute to give us a progress report on a mission, vision, covenant, mission, objective 4, and after that I will share an update on the fund drive. Thank you all you do to make this place of love, warmth, and welcome for all. Now I'll invite Ann up.
Good morning. Last week, we heard an update on Mission Objective 2, Have Fun, Be Together, from Jim Scanlon, and this week you are going to hear about Mission Objective 4, which is sharing the gifts of this congregation with the wider community. We want people to know who we are and where we are so they can join UUCS on our adventure, because we believe so many people share and would benefit from participating in our community of a love beyond belief. We want every visitor to feel welcomed and invited to participate in the UUCS adventure and know that they are seen, known, and valued as part of our community. We want to be a sustained beacon of social justice, partnering with the community to share our gifts with the wider world. So this mission objective encourages us to build a culture of sharing our gifts with the wider community, particularly through our membership, communications, and social justice committees. We have expanded our membership committee in order to accomplish all that this mission objective asks of us. Since last fall, we have had 2 Path to Membership classes, adding 23 new members and friends. We have another class coming on March 22nd. A growing need that we have is more greeters, some of the first people that people experience when they walk through the doors. If you would be interested in serving as one, once a week, once a month, as a substitute, whatever works with your schedule, please reach out to Peggy Hamrick. The Communications Committee shares the goodness that is this place weekly. Our AV team works so well together, providing sound and video for each Sunday service and some additional ones too. We have a couple of new AV team members, but would love to grow even more. If you have any interest in the audio or video side, or both, please reach out to Bernie Holiday. Even when our internet connection fails, which is more often than we would like, they are able to get us a video to post each week. We are also developing a communications plan so that we are consistently sharing what is happening here with the wider world through all of our communication channels. We want this to be authentic and true, not just marketing, but real storytelling about who we are and how others can become involved. You can help by sharing our social media posts when you see them. We know that members of this community are sharing what is happening here with others, and inviting people to participate is the very best way that word spreads. So please tell the good news of this place whenever you are moved to do so. We are evaluating all of our communication tools as we grow so that we can use them better and more effectively. And we are working with the membership committee to update our welcome materials for folks who visit the church. And don't forget to wear your church merch out there so people can see it. Social justice is always active. It is central to this place and to who we are. After a long discernment process several years ago, our congregation voted to develop 5 teams to pursue all the work in the community and the wider world that we believe we should do together. Consciousness, immigrant and refugee justice, ecology, voting justice, and being a good neighbor. Consciousness is at the core of all that we do here, doing the constant work of challenging ourselves to listen, to think, to be more aware and compassionate, especially engaging in anti-racism, anti-oppression, and multicultural work. Our partnerships with Speaking Down Barriers, Proud Mary, LGBTQ Theologies, Pride, and Siren are critical ways we support community leaders guiding us in the work of conscious action. This year, we will be heavily involved in co-creating a new Pride event in Spartanburg, now that Upstate Pride has made the decision to focus on the June Pride event in Greenville and will not be hosting one here in the fall. This will be a collaborative effort with other LGBTQ+ organizations and individuals, and we will definitely be a big part. Also, our own Grace Schwartz is part of the South Carolina UU Justice Alliance Racial Justice Team, a statewide collaborative of UU congregations to amplify all of our work across South Carolina. Immigrants and refugees. We are closely partnered with immigration and refugee support and advocacy groups, especially Vida y Salud, Alianza Spartanburg, Lutheran Services, and World Relief. I'm pleased to share that despite deep cuts in federal funding and severe restrictions on immigration and refugees, both Lutheran Services and World Relief continue to welcome and assist refugees in our region. The needs of Vida y Salud, which is formerly PASOS and a longtime partner of UUCS, are greater than ever, and next month we will share the plate to support their work. We participate each month in the Alianza Spartanburg convening to coordinate efforts across the community to support immigrants. Yesterday in this sanctuary, Share the Love Yoga happened as a fundraiser to show support to our immigrant neighbors. Stakeholders in Democracy invite you to join their weekly protest each Tuesday at noon at the corner of St. John and North Church Streets. And I flew to Minneapolis to join 1,200 plus clergy from across the country to protest ICE. There is a great deal more we can do to welcome the stranger here, as we each were also welcomed. Ecology. Our native plants team planted 2 live oaks on the steep slope on the east side of the sanctuary and has a landscape plan for much more. The educational work of that team has a transformative effect on how many of us tend our own home lawns and gardens, centering native plants and limiting grass cutting to sustain pollinators. Search for Homegrown National Park to join the effort. On the MLK Day of Service, more than a dozen youth and their parents and adult volunteers collected so much litter that another youth brought his pickup truck to haul it all away, and it would not all fit. And that was like just our cul-de-sac. We have volunteers collecting plastic bags for recycling, and we are always trying to do our best at recycling here at church using compostable materials and more. You can help us here and take these practices to your home. Be a good neighbor. We partner with our neighborhood association, Carver Middle School, and sister congregations in the city's South Side and beyond to be a good neighbor here. Over the winter holidays, we packed food boxes for students at Carver Middle School, helping feed children through the winter break. We have agreed that we will pack food boxes again for Carver students most in need for spring break. Over the winter holidays, we also collected clothing for children in the Away Home program and black dolls and action figures to neighborhood children served by Hattie's Place here in this neighborhood. We hosted a measles vaccination clinic in January and have broadly promoted throughout the county vaccination clinics and other efforts by the Department of Public Health to stop the measles outbreak. The vaccination clinic we hosted here has encouraged other congregations to host clinics in their neighborhoods. And we are a major partner in Away Home, a countywide effort to provide shelter for unhoused children and their families by hosting them in congregational buildings. Get ready for our next rotation, March 15th through April 5th. And last but not least, voting justice. This team has been hard at work helping us save our democracy. We partner with the League of Women Voters, UU the Vote, and several other local voting justice groups to do this work as a community-wide team. There have been several opportunities for postcard writing, and there will be more, including today. Just this past week, a group of us were signed up for a specific hour of making phone calls to Congress, protesting ICE and Border Patrol actions. The Stakeholders for Democracy group organizes regular protests on the second and fourth Tuesdays from noon to 1:30. There is also one tomorrow on President's Day. The UUA, SCUJA, and UU for Social Justice all have action lists that we are sharing so people can get involved in whatever works for them. Some people go to protests, some write postcards, some call our senators and representatives, some offer mutual aid. We want to encourage you to find what works for you and do it. Check out the Happenings, Unison, and Connect for ways to get involved. Even though I feel like I've talked for a really long time, this is only a synopsis. There is no way I could include everything in this update. There is always so much happening around and through this place. It is such a beautiful thing. I'm so proud to be doing this work with all of you. So thank you all for all that you do to make this world better for all and for sharing this place with the wider community.
All right, now for an update on our flight status. As of Thursday, we had raised our intended giving to $79,290, taking us, if you'll look over here, from Mermaid Lagoon to Indian Camp. We've had 35 households turn in their intent to give form, which we're representing with the stars on the night London sky. This is a great start, and just this morning, people have been giving Ann their intent to give cards. So I know we're still building this, and it's a great start. We still have a ways to go. And I want to take just a moment to discuss why this fundraising goal is so important. Hopefully, this is going to be a refresher because you've all read your flyer, but I think it's worth unpacking a bit. It's for those, and I don't think that I knew this until I moved into this process, the Unitarian Universalist Association, the big governing body that we function under, has a tier system with 4 tiers that churches can fall under based on membership. Last year, we moved from a tier B to a tier C. which is a very big deal. And I think it is a remarkable thing because this did not happen because we're out there proselytizing. This happened because of our purpose and what we're doing, and it attracts people and people come. And even the people of this church that are like, in my heart of hearts, I'd love a little tiny church, know that what we're doing people need to know it's here. They need to be able to find us, and we need to be a safe haven for everyone in our community that needs one. But that is a beautiful, wonderful thing, but with it comes added responsibilities and added needs. And just using the UUA's standard, their standard, they say that a Tier C church, in order for it to function well, needs to employ 2.5 to 6 full-time employees. That is not counting administrative, musical, janitorial staff. Also, they recommend a budget between $358,251 and $1,055,248. So we can do a lot with a little. So we're asking for even under their low end, but we do need to be able to feed the growth, because without a foundation, there's nowhere for our purpose to fly from. And I know that we can fly. We've been flying. That is how we've moved to a Tier C church. So please, everyone, take a leap, have some faith, and fly with me. I'm going to ask one of our members, Paul Miller, to come and talk for just a minute or two about why he believes this church, why he chooses personally himself to give to this church and this congregation.
Good morning. It's really wonderful to see you this morning. They're new. I didn't want to get them wet. So, I was having a little back trouble, so I had to put them here. Let's see. I wrote down a few notes so I'd remember why I give to this place, but I walk in here and then I look around, and I got to tell you that this sanctuary just grabbed me when I came in here for the first time. It is different from other sanctuaries that I've been in. I like the arrangement of the chairs, and it's warm. It's like being in a treehouse. We don't need stained glass because we have nature right outside. So that's my take on that. Anyhow, why do I give money to the UU? While I was putting these notes together, I realized I hadn't submitted my pledge for 25, 26, or 26, 27. Thank you. I came to the UU after I retired around 2017 and became a friend in 2019. I was looking for a new spiritual home. On my job, I had a great job where I learned to love people. I worked with people with autism and their families and their schools and all the professionals that go with that, and I fell in love with them. It was a wonderful, wonderful way to put love into practice, and I was happy to be able to do that. After that ended, I wanted to find a new way to live and learn about love, because that love thing is really, I found out, what makes me tick. It's inside me. And so I came here. I had some friends who came here, and I'd known about them for years. And I came for a few visits in the 1990s and then got swept up doing something else. The other thing I needed to do was come to a place that was open and welcoming to LGBTQIA folks, because I'm one of those. And after working in a place that could fire me if I ever came out, I decided I'm over that, so I'm done. So I wanted to come to a place where I could just be myself. I didn't know what that would be like. I'd never really been authentic. I'd been mostly authentic, but never 100% authentic, so I didn't know. It was like flying to a new planet. I was welcomed by warm and lovely people. Scott had just started here, and I liked what he had to say. It made a lot of sense to the way I think about higher powers, theology. Unitarianism made a lot of sense to me. It's the way I think, and it's the way my mind works. And I was shocked and encouraged to find out that other people think the same thing. In fact, they even started a church because of it. I'd been scared to express some of those ideas in some of the places where I'd been to church before. They were so heretical. Anne started her internship soon after that, and I became a member. I know you got ordained in August of 21, but before that, Anne came in and she was courageous. She was scared to death, but courageous as hell, and decided to take on lots and lots of stuff. Has just done a beautiful job, and I liked her, and I liked her work. It's a big deal. I've met a lot of you. I like what you're doing. You're a lot of the reason I come here. This is a sacred place to me because I have learned to be more authentic. I'm gonna get a little emotional. It's a big deal. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful. Whew, all right, that's over with. Thanks. I have friends who aren't here anymore, used to be members of this church, and they were telling me this morning, they died, but they were telling me this morning to go in, that they would be here with me. I'm grateful for that. I started finding jobs to do at church. I got to work with even a family and a kid with autism in the religious education department. I got to play with little kids and teach them a few developmental tasks, and that was a lot of fun. I used my pickup truck to haul the lemonade stand to a fair in Inman so that we could make money. And then I used it to hopefully put furniture in Fred and help me here. Thank you. Pam's new house. So I like that truck to work and do good work. I visited a friend in hospice, and he was a retired priest, and we knew about the prayer book from the Episcopal Church. So that was fun for us to engage in a little service. It's been wonderful getting to know the church and the people, all of you all. I'm glad that I had time coming to, it's not Sunday school, but religious education in the morning that Jim helped us do last year. I love the music. I'm so glad that all of y'all pitch in to make the music great. I don't mean this to be I love you all kind of thing, but the people who started this church, back on Blue Ridge, and then had the faith and the courage to spend a ton of money, buy this place, and build this sanctuary. I mean, that's an act of faith. That's a huge act of faith. I'm grateful that that place is here today. There's so much good happening here, you bet I'm going to support it with my money. I wish I were rich. I would use a lot more of it. Every time I drive by and see the mural of the Grimke sisters on the side, reaching up and they're reaching for the spirit of freedom, and they're also emitting or releasing the spirit of freedom, I think, in that image, and I just love it. I buy the cards so I can send them to people. I really like what's happening here. It's a safe and welcoming place for us gay folks, us queer folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was a time of my life that was full of anxiety. I just want to mention growing up and knowing that you're different is just bizarre. Didn't know if I should keep my mouth shut. I wondered, is this a passing thing? What the heck is going on? Can I talk to people about that? And I did have a few safe spaces, and now there's a huge safe space to talk about what I think, and if I have questions, I can ask them. Terribly, terribly grateful. So that's why I'm going to pledge really soon, Mary. I just want to keep the work going. I can only do so much. I just do a little bit. And to know and to listen to Ann about all of the things that are happening, if I can pay a little bit to keep the lights on, you know, I'm grateful. All those little bits add up. There was a time when I wasn't able to contribute very much many years ago. Who makes money when they're starting out, right? But eventually you get to have a good flow of cash and you can do something. So that's really a wonderful thing. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you all very much. Hope you get some.
Our chalice lighting this morning comes from the book, The People Could Fly, by Virginia Hamilton. They say the people could fly. Say that long ago in Africa, some of the people knew magic. And they would walk up on the air like climbing up on a gate. And they flew like blackbirds over the fields, black shiny wings flapping against the blue up there. We are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. And one of the practices that we have in this congregation to help us do that is reciting the metta meditation once a month. The words are printed in your bulletin, and I encourage you to join me as we remind ourselves how we can be together and how we can be in this world. We begin by expressing love for ourselves. May I be free of suffering. May I be at peace. May I know the joy of my own true nature. May I be healed. May I be a source of healing for all others. May I know love. We then express love for those for whom we care. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for others. May you know love. We next express love for those who we find difficult, in small ways and in large. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love. And finally, we express love for all beings. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love. Another practice of this congregation to hold one another close in both our joys and sorrows and all that we carry in our heart is to take time for the rippling bowl. We do this to acknowledge that we all carry things in our hearts, and we come together in this community to share them. If you are watching us virtually, we share your joys and sorrows too. You may take this time to come forward and place a stone or shell in the rippling bowl to release what you're holding in your heart.
May I be well.
Our congregation has written a covenant that we say together every week to remind us of how we want to be in the world. Please join me in saying these words of faith. With courage we say, we are a people of faith and hope. Together we covenant to strive to become our better selves, to honor both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to respond to systems of violence and oppression with the power of a love beyond belief. Another practice of ours is to take the time every single week to honor the relationships that you have already heard some about that are so important to each of us in this community. We set aside a special time for the extroverts and huggers to refuel themselves as we greet one another. Please greet one another respectfully and as the other person chooses to be greeted. And when you hear the music, come back to your seat because, as always, we have lots more to do. Did you all see Scott giving Erin the signal over there? I saw that. At this time, we receive an offertory to support the very important work of this church, which you have heard is extensive. One of the other practices of this congregation, though, has always been to support community partners with a share the plate each month. Each month, half of the offerings that are not designated go to the recipient in our community and any designated gifts. It is my great pleasure to invite my friend and colleague, Matt Files, who is the program director of Favor Spartanburg, to tell you more about their important work.
Thank you, Dr. Mel. Whew. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Matt Files, and I am the program manager at Favor Upstate, and I'm also a person in long-term recovery. Yeah, woohoo! We do recover, and we do recover out loud. Have you ever walked into a place that just didn't seem right, seem appropriate, very welcoming, or I don't know, just wasn't, you weren't allowed to express yourself, your true self, your authentic self, as I heard somebody mention earlier today. And then you walk into a place where you can do all of those things. Not based off of how you operate or how you do things or even what you believe. How cool is that? Well, that's what Favor Upstate is for those who are seeking help with substance use disorder. You see, at Favor, we welcome all pathways to recovery. That means to me that however you want to do things to grow, improve your life, feel better physically, mentally, spiritually, we are absolutely open to it. And it's likely we know a little bit about it and how to help you find those opportunities and those resources. Substance use disorder affects everybody. There is not one person in this room who does not know at least one individual who is struggling. And as you know, it's not just the individuals who struggle as well. It's also the families. It's also the community. As I've already heard many times here today, it's a we thing. Sure, it's an inside job. We have to do some work. But without everybody being involved, giving, being of help, those services are not available. So at Favor, we help individuals seeking recovery and families who are seeking recovery. How do we do that? Well, first off, we offer recovery coaching, which is peer support based. So everybody that works at Favor Upstate has lived experience with substance use disorder, and we are certified peer supports. So when you come for recovery coaching, which is a free one-on-one support, all of our services are completely free, by the way. You meet with somebody who has been where you are. You sit down with somebody who has been trained, who has certification and education around how to support you and how to help you. We also offer recovery meetings. These look like all recovery meetings. So no matter what you are struggling with, whether it's alcohol, heroin, fentanyl, xylazine, if you haven't heard of that one, marijuana. You know, alcohol still kills more people annually than any of these other drugs. How insane is that? I digress. So, recovery meetings, all recovery meetings. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you look like, who you know, what drugs or substances you've used. We just want you in the room. We want you to be part of the Favor family, where anybody and everybody is welcome. Beyond that, we do these fun events, community events, because the opposite of addiction, we believe at Favor, is connection. Isolation in my experience, personal and both professional, is the killer. Isolation kills. So connection and community is the way out. There is a way out, thank God. At Favor, we do these things called AIR events, Adventures in Recovery. Now, these are just fun, simple events. Might just be a bingo night. I don't even like bingo, but you know what happens at bingo? I laugh, and I feel connected to people, and I smile, and I share food with other people. You see, at the end, right? At the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We all want to feel love and respect. And we want to give that away as well. Well, I experienced that at Favor. You know, it's funny, I was hired on at Favor 3 years ago, and I had 13 years of recovery at that point. And I've come to learn that there is a difference between physical recovery, you know, no longer drinking for me, or no longer smoking marijuana, or no longer taking pills to feel better. But then there's emotional recovery. How do I grow as a human being? How do I improve from the inside out? That's a tall order, and it never ends. But that's okay. We're all in this together. I have learned that providing the opportunity for people who are struggling with substance use disorder, mental health, trauma, all of the above and more, to provide people the opportunity to speak, learn about, and to help guide them through has been a wonderful and amazing opportunity for me as a person in recovery and an employee at Favor Upstate. I can't believe I get paid to do that with people. I was just looking for a paycheck. I've gotten so much more. So, if anybody here is struggling with substances or knows somebody who is struggling, please, we have, again, no barriers to our program. Everything is free. You know, we don't need your information. You don't have to have health insurance. You just show up. Maybe you come to a potluck family night where there's family members and individuals who are in recovery in the same room. Why? Because we can learn from each other. And we can fellowship over food. Who doesn't like that? So, Favor Spartanburg is located a stone's throw from here, one real estate way. You could walk there, or I could walk here. And we are open Monday through Saturday. We have recovery meetings Monday through Saturday, afternoons and nights. We have these events that we put on for the community, and the recovery coaches are available. There is, like I said, hopefully no barriers. We even offer Zoom meetings. So, you know, I want to thank everybody for allowing me to represent Favor here today. And I truly appreciate y'all, and thank you so much.
The People Could Fly, written by Virginia Hamilton, illustrated by Leo and Diane Dillon. They say the people could fly, say that long ago in Africa, some of the people knew magic, and they would walk up on the air like climbing on a gate. And they flew like blackbirds over the fields, black, shiny, wings flapping against the blue up there. Then many of the people were captured for slavery. The ones that could fly shed their wings. They couldn't take their wings across the water on the slave ships. Too crowded, don't you know? The folks were full of misery then, got sick with the up and down of the sea, so they forgot about flying when they could no longer breathe the sweet scent of Africa. Say the people who could fly kept their power, although they shed their wings. They kept their secret magic in the land of slavery. They looked the same as the other people from Africa who had been coming over, who had dark skin. Say you couldn't tell anymore one who could fly from one who couldn't. One such who could was an old man, call him Toby. And standing tall yet afraid was a young woman who once had wings. Call her Sarah. Now Sarah carried a babe tied to her back. She trembled to be so hard worked and scorned. The slaves labored in the fields from sunup to sundown. The owner of the slaves calling himself their master. Say he was a hard lump of clay, a hard glinty coal, a hard rock pile, wouldn't be moved. His overseer on horseback pointed out the slaves who were slowing down. So the one called driver cracked his whip over the slow ones to make them move faster. That whip was a slice-open cut of pain. So they did move faster, had to. Sarah hoed and chopped the row as the babe on her back slept. Say the child grew hungry. The babe started up bawling too loud. Sarah couldn't stop to feed it. Couldn't stop to soothe and quiet it down. She let it cry. She didn't want to. She had no heart to croon to it. Keep that thing quiet, called the overseer. He pointed his finger at the babe. The woman scrunched low. The driver cracked his whip across the babe anyhow. The babe hollered like any hurt child, and the woman fell to the earth. The old man that was there, Toby, came and helped her to her feet. I must go soon, she told him. Soon, he said. Sarah couldn't stand up straight any longer. She was too weak. The sun burned her face. The babe cried and cried, pity me, oh, pity me, say it sounded like. Sarah was so sad and starving, she sat down in the row. Get up, you black cow, called the overseer. He pointed his hand, and the driver's whip snarled around Sarah's legs. Her sack dress tore into rags. Her legs bled onto the earth. She couldn't get up. Toby was there where there was no one to help her and the babe. Now, before it's too late, panted Sarah. Now, Father. Yes, daughter. The time has come, Toby answered. Go as you know how to go. He raised his arms, holding them out to her. Kamyali, Kambabatambe, and more magic words, and said so quickly they sounded like whispers and sighs. The young woman lifted one foot on the air, then the other. She flew clumsily at first with the child now held tightly in her arms. Then she felt the magic, the African mystery. Say she rose just as free as a bird, as light as a feather. The overseer rode after her, hollering. Sarah flew over the fences. She flew over the woods. Tall trees could not snag her, nor could the overseer. She flew like an eagle now until she was gone far from sight. No one dared speak about it, couldn't believe it. But it was because they that was there saw that it was. Say the next day was dead hot in the fields. A young man's slave fell from the heat. The driver come and whipped him. Toby come over and spoke words to the fallen one. The words of ancient Africa once heard are never remembered completely. The young man forgot them as soon as he heard them. They went way inside him. He got up and rolled over on the air. He rode it a while, and he flew away. Another and another fell from the heat. Toby was there. He cried out to the fallen and reached his arms out to them. Come Yali, come Tambe. Whispers and sighs, and they too rose on the air. They rode the hot breezes. The ones flying were black and shining sticks, wheeling above the head of the overseer. They crossed the rows, the fields, the fences, the streams, and were away. Seize the old man, cried the overseer. I heard him say the magic words. Seize him. The one calling himself master come running. The driver got his whip ready to curl around old Toby and tie him up. The slave owner took his hip gun from its place. He meant to kill old black Toby. But Toby just laughed. Say he threw back his head and said, hee. Don't you know who I am? Don't you know some of us in this field? He said it to their faces. We are the ones who fly. And he sighed the ancient words that were a dark promise. He said them all around to the others in the field under the whip. Bubayale, Bubatambe. There was a great outcrying. The bent backs straightened up. Old and young who were called slaves and could fly joined hands. Say like they would ring sing, but they didn't shuffle in a circle. They didn't sing. They rose on the air. They flew in a flock that was black against the heavenly blue. Black crows or black shadows. It didn't matter. They went so high, way above the plantation, way over the slavery land. Say they flew away to freedom. And the old man, Toby, flew behind them, taking care of them. He wasn't crying. He wasn't laughing. He was the seer. His gaze fell on the plantation where the slaves who could not fly waited. Take us with you. Their looks spoke it, but they were afraid to shout it. Toby couldn't take them with him, hadn't the time to teach them to fly. They must wait for a chance to run. Goodbye, The old man, Toby, spoke to them, poor souls, and he was flying gone. So they say, the overseer told it. The one called master said it was a lie, a trick of the light. The driver kept his mouth shut. The slaves who could not fly told about the people who could fly to see their children. When they were free, when they sat close before the fire in the free land, they told it. They did so love firelight and freedom and telling. They say that the children of the ones who could not fly told their children. And now me, I have told you.
Denise is being mindful of time, but the shirt that she is wearing comes from Senegal, and when this service is over, I hope you will ask her about the deep symbolism of what she is wearing, how she is leading us. Don't be afraid. You've had your sermon already today. Everybody just relax. Share silence with me. Love strange magic, strange serendipities. Think through everything that we have heard today, all the stories that we've heard told, coming from so many different voices and so many different lives, wisdom flowing in from not one place and not one authority, but from each of our lives. Live the best that we know how as we evolve as people. Stories about consciousness, anti-racism and anti-oppression, liberation. Stories about immigrants and refugees and the blessings that they bring, and the ways they call us to action. Stories about ecology and native plants and pollinators, and pickup trucks driven by teenagers full of trash. Ways that people work together even when they don't know each other. Stories of just trying to be a good neighbor in a world full of noise that would tear us apart. And stories of voting justice and standing up to bullies and claiming the right that everyone here has a voice and a say. And stories of media and communications and telling our story, because it is beautiful and good to share, and it can bring heart and hope to others. And stories of building ways to welcome well those who come into this space. And stories of those who have felt welcomed, finding free expression of their real lives without fear. And stories of favor, that we can recover. That when we fly, others fly with us. All these beautiful stories. And I just love the strange magic. Because these are stories about how we fly. And at 1:15 today, our youth have an activity where they will go to a place called Big Air. Yes. And they will spend time practicing flying. That's really happening today. You're really doing the work.
Please join me on hymn number 1074 in your teal hymnal.
Scott just laughed. Say he threw back his head and said, "Don't you know who I am? Don't you know some of us in this field?" He said it to their faces. We are the ones who fly. The bent backs straightened up, old and young, who could fly joined hands. So they rose on the air. They flew in a flock that was black against the heavenly blue. They went so high, say they flew to freedom.
Just a little bit of pixie dust.